Imagine the universe inside you. From a single spark, life emerges.
Every human being begins as a single cell, a marvel of biological engineering. But how does It's a moment of profound significance, fertilization, the fusion of genetic material, initiating the journey of a new individual. Within hours, the nuclei fuse, creating a single-celled zygote. This tiny sphere holds all the genetic instructions for a human being. The zygote swiftly begins its first mitotic divisions, a process known as cleavage. From one, now two.
This two-cell stage marks the beginning of rapid cellular proliferation, still contained within the protective zona pellucida.
The divisions continue geometrically, leading to the four-cell stage, each cell an identical copy, preparing for incredible specialization. By approximately day 2.5, the embryo consists of 8 cells, a compact cluster moving steadily towards the uterus.
Around day 3, these cells undergo a crucial process called compaction, forming a tightly bound ball known as the morula.
Still encased in the zona pellucida, the morula continues its journey, propelled by cilia, nearing its destination, the uterus.
As the morula enters the uterus, fluid begins to permeate its structure, initiating the formation of a central cavity. By day 5, this fluid accumulation creates the blastocyst, a more complex structure with 2 distinct cell populations. The inner cell mass will form the embryo itself, while the outer trophoblast layer will contribute to the placenta.
Before implantation, the blastocyst hatches from its protective zona pellucida, preparing for attachment to the uterine wall. Around day 6, implantation begins. The trophoblast cells start to invade the maternal uterine tissue, establishing vital connections. The trophoblast differentiates into 2 layers, the inner cytotrophoblast and the outer, multinucleated syncytotrophoblast.
By day 10, the blastocyst is fully embedded, signaling the secure establishment of early pregnancy.
The inner cell mass rearranges into a bilaminar embryonic disc, comprising 2 layers, the epiblast and hypoblast.
Simultaneously, the amniotic cavity forms above the epiblast and the primary yolk sac below the hypoblast, providing early sustenance and protection.
Around week 3, a critical event unfolds: gastrulation, heralded by the appearance of the primitive streak on the epiblast. Through this streak, epiblast cells begin to migrate inwards, undergoing a phenomenal transformation.
The first wave of migrating cells displaces the hypoblast, establishing the embryonic endoderm, which will form the lining of many internal organs.
Next, a second wave of cells forms the mesoderm, the crucial middle layer responsible for connective tissues, muscle, and bone.
The cells remaining in the epiblast now constitute the ectoderm, the outermost layer, destined to form the nervous system and skin.
With these 3 germ layers established, the embryonic disc is now trilaminar.
One of the earliest and most vital processes is neurulation, the formation of the central nervous system, beginning with the neural plate.
The neural plate begins to fold inwards, creating the neural groove, a critical step towards forming the brain and spinal cord.
The edges of the neural groove elevate, becoming the neural folds, which will eventually meet and fuse. The neural folds then fuse, forming the neural tube, the primordial structure of the entire central nervous system. At the cranial end, the neural tube begins to expand, forming the first 3 brain vesicles: the forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain.
The remainder of the neural tube develops into the spinal cord, serving as the crucial communication highway for the body.
As the neural tube closes, a remarkable population of cells, the neural crest, migrates throughout the embryo to form diverse tissues.
Alongside this, the paraxial mesoderm segments into somites, precursors to vertebrae, ribs, muscles, and dermis.
Each somite differentiates into specialized regions. The sclerotome forms bone, the myotome muscle.
As the neural tube and somites develop, the entire embryo begins to fold, transforming from a flat.
By week 3, the cardiovascular system begins its remarkable formation. 2 endocardial tubes fuse to form the primitive heart tube.
This simple tube then rapidly begins to loop, a crucial process that positions future chambers correctly within the developing thorax. This C-loop is vital for establishing the correct alignment of the atrial and ventricular regions. Astonishingly, by day 22 to 23, the primitive heart begins to beat, initiating circulation within the embryo. Partitioning of the heart chambers begins with the formation of the septum primum, dividing the primitive atrium. A temporary opening, the foramen ovale, remains crucial for shunting blood in the fetal circulation. Concurrently, the interventricular septum begins to divide the primitive ventricle into two distinct chambers.
The outflow tract also undergoes complex septation, forming the aorta and pulmonary artery, ensuring proper blood distribution. Beyond the heart, an intricate network of blood vessels rapidly develops, forming the vital circulatory system. With the heart beating and vessels forming, blood begins its journey, delivering essential nutrients and oxygen throughout the tiny embryo.
During week 4, critical structures for the head and neck begin to emerge. The pharyngeal arches.
These arches contribute to the formation of the jaw, parts of the ear, and vital structures of the face and neck. Also in week 4, the first signs of limbs appear as small, paddle-shaped outgrowths called limb buds. A critical structure, the apical ectodermal ridge, or AER, controls the outward growth and development of the limb. The forelimb buds appear slightly earlier and develop more rapidly than the hindlimb buds, a fascinating developmental asymmetry.
The development of sensory organs also commences. On the head, the optic placodes begin to form, precursors to our eyes.
These placodes invaginate, forming the lens vesicles, which will develop into the lens of the eye, focusing light.
Concurrently, the otic placodes appear, invaginating to form the otic vesicles, the foundation of the inner ear and our sense of hearing.
The developing face shows early prominences, critical for shaping the features we recognize as uniquely human. While many structures grow, the embryonic tail bud, a vestige of our evolutionary past, begins its regression. As the embryo folds, the endoderm is incorporated to form the primitive gut tube, the foundation of our digestive system. This tube quickly differentiates into 3 regions: the foregut, midgut, and hindgut, each responsible for developing specific organs. Initially, the gut tube is closed at both ends by the oropharyngeal and cloacal membranes.
From the foregut, a critical outpouching develops into the liver bud, beginning the formation of our largest internal organ. This bud further differentiates, forming the gallbladder and the intricate network of bile ducts. The pancreas develops from 2 separate buds, dorsal and ventral, which later fuse into a single gland. The midgut undergoes rapid elongation, forming a primary intestinal loop that temporarily herniates into the umbilical cord.
This physiological umbilical hernia accommodates the rapid growth of the intestines at this early stage.
Later, the midgut rotates counterclockwise and retracts back into the abdominal cavity, forming the characteristic arrangement of our intestines. Though not part of the gut tube, the spleen also begins to form from the dorsal mesentery of the stomach, crucial for the immune system.
Concurrent with gut development, the respiratory system begins with the appearance of the laryngotracheal groove from the foregut.
This groove is then divided by the tracheoesophageal septum, separating the future airway from the digestive tract.
At the caudal end, 2 lateral outgrowths appear, the primary lung buds, marking the start of lung formation.
These lung buds undergo rapid, successive branching, forming the intricate bronchial tree, preparing for respiration.
The developing lungs also form their distinct lobes, each lung organizing its complex internal architecture.
As the lungs grow, they push into the surrounding mesoderm, creating the pleural cavities, their future protective spaces.
The diaphragm, essential for breathing, forms from several embryonic components, separating the thoracic and abdominal cavities. Later stages of lung development involve the formation of tiny alveolar sacs, where gas exchange will eventually occur.
A dense network of capillaries develops around these sacs, ready to facilitate the vital exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. The developing respiratory system, though not yet functional for breathing, is meticulously prepared for its grand debut at birth. The urogenital system begins with the development of 3 successive kidney systems, starting with the very primitive pronephros.
The pronephros quickly degenerates, replaced by the mesonephros, which functions as an excretory organ in early development. Associated with the mesonephros are the mesonephric ducts, which play a critical role in both male and female development.
Finally, the metanephros develops, forming the permanent kidneys, essential for lifelong waste filtration.
The ureteric bud, an outgrowth of the mesonephric duct, branches extensively to form the collecting ducts and renal calyces.
The metanephric blastoma responds by forming the nephrons, the functional filtering units of the kidney, an intricate biological dance.
Adjacent to the developing kidneys, the gonadal ridges form, destined to become the testes or ovaries.
Initially, the gonad is indifferent, possessing the potential to develop into either male or female reproductive organs.
The presence or absence of the SRY gene on the Y chromosome initiates this critical divergence, typically around week 7.
The cloaca, a common chamber for waste, divides to form the bladder and urethra anteriorly and the rectum posteriorly.
The musculoskeletal system begins as mesenchymal cells condense to form cartilaginous models of future bones. These cartilage models then undergo chondrification, developing into more defined, rigid structures.
Later, primary ossification centers appear, where cartilage is gradually replaced by bone, initiating true bone formation.
Concurrently, myoblasts, precursors to muscle cells, migrate from the somites into the developing limbs and body wall. These myoblasts fuse to form multinucleated muscle fibers, the basic units of our powerful muscular system.
Connective tissues like tendons and ligaments also develop, ensuring proper attachment and stability of bones and muscles.
The integumentary system, our skin, begins with a simple ectodermal layer, with the underlying mesoderm forming the dermis.
From the ectoderm, hair follicles begin to develop, giving rise to our protective covering of hair.
At the tips of the developing digits, specialized ectodermal regions form the nail beds, precursors to our fingernails and toenails.
Early sweat and sebaceous glands also form, establishing the skin's future roles in temperature regulation and protection.
The early facial prominences continue their intricate dance, fusing to meticulously sculpt the human face.
The nasal placodes invaginate, forming the nasal pits, the beginnings of our complex olfactory system and airways.
Inside the oral cavity, the primary and secondary palates fuse, separating the nasal and oral passages.
The brain undergoes phenomenal growth, with its surface beginning to fold and furrow, increasing surface area for cognitive function.
The eyes refine their intricate structures, with the iris, pupil, and eyelids all taking shape, preparing for sight. The ears similarly complete their complex internal and external architecture, perfecting the mechanisms for sound perception.
Influenced by hormonal cues, the external genitalia begin their differentiation into male or female forms. Through programmed cell death, or apoptosis, the webbing between fingers and toes regresses, forming distinct digits. Limbs continue to elongate and refine, with joint cavities developing to allow for future movement and flexibility.
By the end of week 8, the embryonic period concludes. All major organ systems have formed, and the embryo is now called a fetus.
Crucial for this development is the placenta, a temporary organ of incredible complexity, mediating all exchange between mother and child. The umbilical cord, a lifeline, carries 2 umbilical arteries, transporting deoxygenated blood away.
Fetal circulation employs ingenious shunts to bypass the non-functional lungs, ensuring oxygenated blood reaches vital organs efficiently.
The amniotic fluid cushions and protects the developing fetus, allowing for free movement and healthy musculoskeletal growth. Beyond the embryonic period, the fetal stage is dominated by rapid growth and the maturation of these established organ systems. Throughout the fetal period, organs continue to mature, refining their structures and preparing for independent function outside the womb.
The developing fetus begins to react to its environment, responding to touch, sound, and even light, hinting at consciousness.
From a single cell, an entire human being emerges, a breathtaking symphony of biology.